Mercy, Chapter 9, page 97. He's got his bike back. I sped away with the halo of sun beaming down on me. I was happy, even blessed, for I did shake the pastor's hand, avoid the warthog and his friend, and donate my trike to the church rummage sale. And I finally spoke face to face to Jessica. I'm sure she pondered my purpose between bites of birthday cake in the church basement. I figured that I had 5 hours before I would meet up with her. What should I do? I didn't want to see Joey because my mission wasn't accomplished yet. I worried that if I returned home, Mom would put me to work digging up weeds in the flower bed. Or she might assign me to wash the windows clean of Winder's shadowy dirt. Or maybe take a broom and get the spider webs off our dead car in the driveway, extra car in the driveway. Dad had sold the engine before he took off with that woman in a sports car. I rode aimlessly until my curiosity drew me to a yard sale. A man in overalls sat on an overturned bucket surrounded by stuff he had dragged from his garage. He rose on his gimpy legs when he saw me coming. He ran a hand over his whiskery, transistor radio in the front pocket of his overalls was turned to the Giants baseball game. Most of his merchandise was pots and pans, large print Reader's Digests, a coffee pot, a child's guitar with no strings, old sleeping bags, and dresses as spacious as tents. The dresses, I suppose, belonged to his wife. "Can you use a set of screwdrivers?" he asked. I told him no. "How about a bird cage?" He informed me that his wife had been fond of canaries. He kicked the grass and stated, "She's gone." I guessed that his wife had passed away. I could have asked when or how, but it was none of my business. Her dresses were on the lawn, and 12 or so pairs of shoes were parked in a line. "Nah, not really, sir." "Birds make nice pets. When you talk to 'em, they sing back. I'll throw in the bird seed." Still, I deflected his efforts to sell me a bird cage, and his insistence that a pair of rusty roller skates would build up my legs and bring me hours of happiness. He tried to convince me that a cookie jar would be an ideal gift for Mother's Day, and that a battery-operated handheld personal fan would be a dream come true for my father. "I'm just looking, sir," I confessed to the old man, who then said, "Hey, then, how about if you help me?" He pointed toward his roof. "I gotta turn the water valve on my cooler. Too old to get up there." My last trip up a roof had brought me bruises and dark memories of crushed daffodils. I shaded my eyes and I took a step back to view the roof's pitch. It didn't look too steep, and the old guy needed help. "You got a ladder, sir?" "No, but I can give you a boost from the back of the house." "How will I get down?" The man posted his meaty hands on his hips. "Why, you jump. You're young, like a kitty cat. You got 9 lives in you." I was tempted to alert him that I had used up one of my lives yesterday at Coach Bear's house, and at this rate I would be dead by the following weekend. "But I have my church clothes on," I countered. Certainly, even if he was old as the oldest hills, he could envision a mother's anger if her son dirtied his best clothes. Might even make her suspicious about whether he had actually been to church or gone to some pig pen with his buddies. You do have some nice duds on." The gentleman suggested that I wear one of his wife's dresses over my good clothes. I balked. "Come on, it's just for a few minutes. Shoot! I wear her slippers," he boomed, "and they're pink." Thus, with a pair of pliers in my back pocket and a long dress flapping around my ankles, I clambered onto the roof at the height of the treetops and TV antennas. I stood up with my hands out for balance, and I walked up the sloping roof, the asphalt shingles crumbling under my steps. I reached the boxy cooler, ripped off the black plastic covering that protected it during the winter. I opened one side, tried to turn the valve with my fingers. Ugh, no luck. Then I let the pliers bite down on that stubborn little valve. I gave it half a turn, and water immediately sang in the copper tubing. Finished with my task, I took in a view of Pinkerton. I liked our town. I liked my friend Joey, who I feared would never come down from that tree. Hey, Joey! I called, though my amigo was far out of hearing range. Joey! 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 At that height, I felt the wind in my hair and a mighty stirring in my soul. Splayed, ears and all. I was glad to be alive. Joey and I had been friends since we were in Pampers, and we would be friends when we were old men and once again in Pampers. I felt a jerky motion under my feet. What the heck? I yelled. My body jerked once more, as if some joker had pulled a rug out from under me. I righted myself. Then I realized the shingles were crumbling under my shoes and then shifting loose. My arms went up, waving for balance. Momentum built up as I began to surf off the roof. Like, yikes! I sped toward the edge of the roof, my tender life passing before my eyes. I saw bowl after bowl of cereal laden with sliced bananas whizzing past, quesadillas, strawberries and cream, vegetarian soups, slice of cheese pizza, pretzels large as horseshoes. I saw my mom at the blender fixing an afternoon smoothie and toast popping up from a chrome toaster. Had my life consisted of nothing more than food? Upright and waving, I dismounted the roof, landing on my feet like a cat. That didn't hurt. Boy your age can fall from the Empire State Building and you just get up and dust yourself off. My legs buzzed. The soles of my feet stung. But I did seem unhurt, though my hands felt just a fraction of an inch closer to the ground. Had my spine collapsed a little? Did you turn the valve on? I nodded, and I shrugged out of the dress and handed the pliers back to him. I took a slow Frankenstein step and then another cautious step. My lower half seemed to function quite nicely, and the upper half obeyed the orders from central command in my brain. I got a little something for you. What? When the gentleman flipped a coin in my direction, I caught it in midair. A Sacagawea dollar. Thanks, sir, I chimed. I was feeling pretty religious at the moment. Hadn't I just given up such a coin at church, and now another one had come my way? Wow, I thought. I straddled my bike, located the pedals, and pushed off, richer by the coin. I had used 2 of my lives jumping from roofs. 7 more to go. I imagined Joey in the tree, juggling apples and oranges, and imagined one of the apples slipping from his grip. I should be there to retrieve that slippery fruit. But I decided to stay away, for now. And with a few hours to kill, I couldn't go home or Mom would put me to work. I couldn't go to the playground for fear that I would run into Corey. I was nervous about why he wanted me to wait for him after church, and he might be mad that I hadn't. I decided to splurge on a soda and a bag of sunflower seeds. I could take my treat to the courthouse, sit in the shade of one of those tall oak trees, watching old men play dominoes. With my Sacagawea coin and a few other dimes and nickels in my pocket, I was worth something. I was in the refrigerated section of the market when I spotted Coach Bear. He saw me as he let the fogged glass door close. Hi, Coach. I approached him, not really happy about this encounter, but seeing no way to escape. I had learned details about his personal life and his separation from his wife. I had witnessed his tantrum at the gym. I wondered if my face gave away my embarrassment. Joey still in that tree? He was gripping a jar of tartar sauce. I told him yes, he was still in the tree. Coach Bear sighed and dropped the tartar sauce into his basket. You know, I think I was too rough on him. My silence indicated that I agreed. It was clear that Coach hadn't gone to see Joey yesterday, but maybe he still would. Coach, I delivered some cosmetics to your wife. My mom sells the stuff. I was mindful that he was a bearish man with thick fur and maybe my Cupid's arrow wouldn't pierce him. Still, in my mind's eye, I pulled back my bow and aimed one at him. He stopped in his tracks and touched his heart. You did? He responded in a shaky voice. She said some boy came over yesterday. Yeah, that was me. I swallowed a sour gob of fear. You got a nice wife. Did have, you mean? Ah, Coach, she's still your wife. Coach Bear looked down at his basket of food. There were a couple of lemons, parsley, asparagus, lettuce, ranch dressing, vanilla ice cream, and the tartar sauce. I'm having dinner with her. You are? I imagine them seated together, Coach Bear's elbows up on the small table. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to cook for her. He gazed in the direction of a soft drink sign, shouting in loud letters, 2 for 1. What are you going to cook? Remember those fish? You know how to cook fish? Yeah, you gut 'em, which I already took care of yesterday, and you fry 'em in a pan with hot oil. He described his secret flavoring and the side dishes of asparagus and a green salad with croutons. I gotta go, he said, and he proceeded toward the checkout. I gotta go too. Mrs. Fuller and her insistence on correct grammar came to mind. I could even smell her perfume and feel that powerful grip on my forearm. I let that image recede, like bathwater down the drain. I trailed Coach Bear to the cashier where he took my soda and sunflower seeds from me. Let me pay them for you. Let me pay for them. It was the least he could do for my work and the awards banquet. From the market, I hadn't clip-clopped more than 6 steps towards my bike when I encountered Corey. Had he been following me? Hey, Ronnie. I want to talk to you. While I prepared to turn and run, I forged ahead with a question. Why? I can't tell you here. I didn't have much choice, so he hopped onto the handlebars of my bike and we rode to the schoolyard, which, being Sunday, was locked. But we slipped in, bike and all, through an opening cut in the chain link fence. We perched on the top of the bleachers at the baseball diamond. The white lines had been swept away by the wind. A bird stood on the pitcher's mound and was joined by another bird. They were pecking at sunflower seed shells and kicking up tiny clouds of dirt. What do you want, Corey? And hey, your friends really punished me. I rolled up my sleeve and showed him the bruise the size of Texas. You're the only one I can talk to, Corey confided. Sorry about the bruises. I got some too. He looked around as if someone might overhear. I turned 13 today. Something happened. I took a swallow of my soda and waited. I think I got what you got. A burp slowly made its way up my throat and actually fluttered my lips. I wondered what I had made him so spooked. Ronnie, I think I'm a monkey, like you and Joey. A second burp followed, but this one blasted from the depths of wherever burps are created. Chimp, Corey, not monkey. Monkeys got tails. They're not as smart. I burped again. Any other time, Corey would have made a nasty comment about my burp or, not to be outdone, would have produced a majestic reply. But he had grown sullen. He examined his palms, where lines were filled with sweat. He munched pensively on the inside of his cheek. When did it start to happen? Last night. You remember how we were playing football? I got home and I was just going to eat and go to bed, but then I suddenly wanted to take a shower, and I only shower 3 times a week, and never on Saturdays. I nodded again in sympathy. Like I wanted to be clean. He wiped his palms. Yeah, it was really strange. Like when I got out of the shower and I looked in the mirror, I saw that I was a chimpanzee. I'm ugly. I could see, in fact, some chimp features in his face. Then again, his long eyelashes reminded me of a camel. He was still evolving. You're not that ugly. Chimps are smart, and there are worse things. Like what? You could be a rhino, like Jason. Oh. Or you could be a weasel, like Robert. Or like Daniel, who's a snake and a big fat liar. Ugh. He moaned louder and kicked at a peanut shell. We sat in silence, twin souls in rare convergence. For years, Corey had bullied me, and more than once hammered me into the ground like a stake. The 2 birds on the mound were joined by 2 other birds, and soon they were bawling. Look at 'em, I told Corey. Corey refused and kept watching his feet. They're fighting like you and me and your friends. I imagined that the combative scene among the birds might bring Corey around. More silence. The birds flew away. The wind swept the diamond. I studied my own palms with their own sweaty lines filled with dark shadows. Our silence deepened when Corey's friends stepped through the rip in the chain link fence. I could see that Corey was nervous that they would see us sitting together in the bleachers. Keep quiet, Corey whispered. I didn't have to be told. Jerome and Scott walked past us. They were still 12, not ready for that big change in life. They sought the far end of the baseball diamond where they started pushing each other and then began to wrestle in the mud. Like boys their age, they had to return home exhausted, bruised, and muddy in their hands, face, and knees. They had to prove their parents, especially to their mothers, that they were still just boys.